today I thought we'd actually look at some of the stuff that you don't see after the final editing. Some of the stuff that happens in drone flight that is quite interesting. So we'll be having a look at a few clips, and we'll be looking to see what's actually gone on behind the scenes that you don't get to see as when the final product comes out. People won't tell you. It's a lot of hit and miss. It's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of good or bad luck. But let's go and have a look at it. In particular today, I'd like to talk to you about the use of Litchi's Follow Me app or Follow Me function. If you're going to be using Litchi's Follow Me mode, is to enable obstacle avoidance. This is a situation where I ask my lovely wife to look after the controls and tell me if the Mavic Air 2 was following me. And I asked her several times and she said yes, it's following me. But as you can see, just about here, it stopped following me because it was about to hit a tree. And thank goodness it had that obstacle avoidance. It wasn't until later we found out that it wasn't following us at the time. It did a hell of a job to catch up though. The next thing we want to think about with Litchi is the fact that it's only can follow objects as fast as your drone can, which for a Mavic Mini would be speed of about 30 kilometers an hour. This is using the Mavic Mini now, but if you use the Mavic Air 2, there's still only a maximum speed of 65 kilometers an hour, and there's very few areas you can actually get away with driving around at that sort of speed. It is good though, and it's a lovely little part of where the red dust meets the ocean. You can also, if you are using the Litchi Follow Me, you can get it to actually follow you in advance and follow you at a walk me mode. Now, although Litchi is limited by a few things, like you've got to actually be carrying the controller, I still think it's a much superior object than perhaps using the DJI Follow Me mode, which is linked to about 5 kilometers an hour or walking speed. However, I do have some trepidations about Litchi's Follow Me mode because I've had it where it lost GPS function and I effectively lost all ability to do anything with the drone other than to land it. Now this was very close to a water feature and it basically almost did a forced landing in the water. So I still have a bit of skepticism about the reliability of the function. You can vary how far away from you want it to be. Lovely bit of footage there, which I wouldn't be able to get by myself in any other situation other than this. As you can see here, the car's going a bit faster than the drone, and the drone's having to cut corners. This is a big danger when using the Litchi app because the drone will go the shortest possible means to its target, which means it can hit trees, it can hit bushes. There's a number of different fails. I have actually crashed the drone into shrubs because the road leveled up and I was flying very low towards it. So it does happen. You need to scout out your area before you actually commence the droning and take account of trees and tree levels. And this is a situation where I scouted out and I tried to estimate how high the trees were in the area that I was going to get it to follow me. I estimated they'd be no more than 6 meters, but you can see it's flying by itself, and there's shortest possible means. I came very close to a couple of trees, and it was just by luck that we didn't actually hit any of the tops of these trees. The other thing I want to talk to you about with Litchi is using the Follow Me app is if for some reason it loses communication with the controller, or we have a low battery, it will go into trying to find and return to its home point. Now, if you use it for a car, for example, you will have set the home point perhaps several kilometres away, and this is what happened up here shortly. It got to a low battery and decided it was going to return to the home point. Now, at this stage, I did not know what was going on. It's coming up in just a second. And here you can see it's made a decision and it's decided it will head back. I continue to drive on thinking the drone's behind me until I pull over in a couple of 100 metres. Now from here it was literally a race back to the home point to try and get there as soon as possible before the drone landed. Now the home point was situated close to a road, so I didn't want it either to be stolen or get run over, but literally it was a race between a drone travelling at 65 kilometres an hour and me to try and get back there. In the end, as you'll see, it got there in the end, but it was fairly close, and it took me a few moments to figure out what was actually going on. I hope you guys don't actually get in that sort of situation, but it's something to take into account when you are using the Litchi Follow Me mode. Use Litchi to film you walking, which is quite a good thing. It keeps a set distance away from you, which is always good. But before you start filming, you'll want to make sure that you've got the camera on target with you. This is in fairly windy conditions, and you can see Litchi's trying to catch up. One of those things with Litchi is you've got to hold the controllers. Not every shot of you do you want the actual controllers to be inside or to be looking down on them. But I still think it's a bit more superior than the DJI Follow Me function. You can also use it, as you'll see in a second, to, if you put the drone out in front of you with a focus on you, it will stay a fixed distance away from you and film you. Just be aware of terrain. So if you set it for something like 2 meters high and the terrain escalates, the drone sometimes will not pick up that different escalation in the terrain and will potentially hit the ground, which you don't want that to do. Okay, that's it from me today. Thanks very much for listening and watching, and hope to see you soon on iCar's Drone Photography.